Good evening, Los Santos. I'm Brendan Needle, and tonight we bring you breaking news from the state of San Andreas. On Friday, November 15th, residents casted their votes to decide the next chief of police for the Los Santos Police Department. The results are in. Billy Bob Forrest has been elected as the new chief of police. Chief Forrest brings a wealth of experience to the role, having served in leadership positions, including heading the criminal investigation unit and playing a key role in the department's growth. He ran on a platform of professionalism and prioritizing on community policing to rebuild trust between law enforcement and the people of Los Santos. Weazel News had the exclusive opportunity to sit down with Chief Forrest following his monumental win. Here's that interview. Chief Forrest, welcome and congratulations on your election as the new Chief of Police for the Los Santos Police Department.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you invite us here. This is definitely an exciting time for you, and I'm sure a challenging time for the department.
Yes,
Um, we're e-
absolutely.
yeah, we're definitely eager to hear your thoughts and your visions, what your priorities are, and what this new chapter means for the people of Los Santos. So again, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So I want to follow up regarding some things about the debate now that you have won.
Of course.
During your campaign, you emphasized the importance of community policing, and I was just wondering what specific steps do you plan to take to strengthen the relationship between the LSPD and the citizens of Los Santos?
Well, Brandon, I believe that it starts and ends with a new culture. In my opinion, community policing is twofold, one inside the department internally, and one from civilians to the department itself. Um, I want to make sure that everybody fosters a good relationship with everyone else, but I feel like it's very important that we change the culture here first. In my opinion, it's been very lax. People kind of just do what they want, and the respect for police officers has gone down. I feel like we need to get back to what's being important, which is being a department.
A great answer, thank you. That kind of ties right into the next question then. Getting your department back on track. Corruption was mentioned a lot by both you and your partner on stage. Corruption within law enforcement has been a reoccurring concern raised by the community and your opponent. How do you plan to ensure accountability and transparency within the department under your leadership?
Well, I believe that, like I said before, it really has to deal with the culture. I don't think either of us are dealing with corruption in the way that people are selling PD equipment to other people. I think it's more about inaction in certain scenarios that could be viewed as corruption. Now, that being said, I really haven't seen a whole lot of corruption specifically in the department. How I want to make sure that things are transparent is that if we do spot something from now on, we're going to be a zero tolerance policy on it. We're going to make things public as far as coaching sessions go, and we'll have it in training for any officer who's willing to read it. Also, if somebody is requesting those documents, we have no problem giving it out to people under the right context, obviously. Not just going to give some random Joe Schmo a document on it, but if a legal authority is asking for it, we have no problem sharing it.
All right, great. I know professionalism was also talked a lot. It was a key pillar in your campaign.
Yeah.
How will you address instances of unprofessionalism within the department and foster the culture of respect and excellence that you want to strive for?
First and foremost, I want to make some things zero tolerance. Unprofessional birdie posting is not going to be allowed under my rule. I don't want people to start things in an online war. I want to remain professional on the streets as well as online. I think that that is what's causing some problems when it comes to professionalism. If somebody is found being unprofessional, they're going to be either receiving strikes or we're going to be recoaching them. It really does start at the culture first. And unfortunately, I don't agree with the culture that we have now.
What would you say caused the culture that's currently going on now? Is it the previous chief or just lax in what the policies are?
It's collective. I don't think any one person is responsible for it. I think that when it comes down to it, some people have been non aggressive when it comes to some of the things like doing birdie postings or wearing inappropriate attire. And I want to make sure that people understand I'm not blaming Sykes for this at all. He's very busy with a lot of the stuff that he does. He does a lot of internal work and external work for this department. Unfortunately, because of all of that work, he wasn't able to keep a watchful eye on everything that happened in the department. And I'm going to be. I think that's the most important part of it.
All right, perfect. So I know that you said activity was a bit of an issue in the department. We also mentioned that you had a great wealth of experience in the force. So,
Mhm.
how do you plan to support these officers and train these officers to handle the challenges of policing while maintaining a high morale where they want to come to work?
Well, it's definitely a multifaceted issue. That's for sure. A lot of my officers in this line of work experience burnout, whether that's through constant action on the force, whether that's through being bored. It's really a balancing game for sure. I do want to institute bonus systems for people who are actually working their hours properly. I'm talking with high command about working on some referral systems as well to bring new officers into the city. I'm very worried that people are going to fall into the same old rut, even when I am chief. I think that the incentive to be an officer and also be a civilian is important.
I certainly agree with that. So, looking ahead, what is your ultimate vision for the police department? And how do you hope your leadership under you and your leadership will leave a lasting impact both on the department and the community?
To be put straightforward, I think it's all about respect. I think that the city itself doesn't respect the police department as they properly should. I'm not sure how exactly that came into be, but I believe that we need a healthy amount of respect in order to do our job effectively. To that end, respect should not be fear. I don't want people to be afraid to come up to me, have conversations with me, or any of the other officers for that matter. It should be one of those things where if you know that we're on scene, we're taking our job seriously, but past that, we're trying everything that we can to build relationships with the rest of the community.
All right, perfect. Well, Chief Forrest, I think that's all the questions I have for you. Is there any final remarks that you have for the people of San Andreas?
Rome wasn't built in a day. It's going to take a lot of work to get things back to where I think we should have them. Don't expect immediate drastic changes. Incremental ones are the ones that actually form new cultures. I would love more than anything to just institute new laws for our police officers. But unfortunately, with all of that is going, I'm afraid that we're going to lose officers instead of making them change for the better. So, as long as you give me the appropriate amount of time, I'll make sure that this city gets back on track.
Perfect. Thank you again so much for having us, Chief.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you, Brandon.
And as always, San Andreas, this has been Brendan Needle, and you have been watching Weazel News. Stay safe, San Andreas.